Now the Trump presidency is coming to an end. It has been a time where truth and fact were treated with disdain. It is a time of cruelty, an era of just plain meanness. For tens of millions of our fellow Americans, their long national nightmare is over.
Americans don't seem to be giving him the credit. Why is that, and what does he have to do to turn that around? Trump's claim about Biden orchestrating the trial is baseless. Allegations with absolutely no evidence that he was making against President Biden, that he is behind all of the prosecutions. There's no evidence that Joe Biden was involved. There's no evidence, absolutely no evidence, that Biden himself was involved.
We're not carrying his remarks live because, frankly, he says a lot of things that are not true and sometimes potentially dangerous. That was the worst debate I have ever seen. In fact, it wasn't even a debate. It was a disgrace, primarily because of President Trump lying, maliciously attacking the son of the vice president.
You just took the words out of my mouth. You used some high-minded language. I'm just going to say it like it is. That was a shit show.
The president does not think he's going to win this election, and he wants to bring the rest of us down with him.
Hello, welcome back to the Friends of Zeus podcast. This is episode 174. Tonight, I know Mike did it last week, and that was a heated episode. But tonight we want to prepare for the upcoming debates, which more than likely, just to throw it out there, we're going to follow this up with a post-debate episode next week. I think anything else would be ridiculous. But Mike is going to run the show again tonight because he is our political analyst.
Well, it comes with all that extra money, so that's why I do it. I do it for the money, man.
Rolling in the dough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Mike, why don't you get us started, and we'll go from there. And the other guys will be joining us momentarily, I hope.
They'll be popping in.
Yep.
Pop. So, well, good evening, good day, good morning, everyone out in podcast land. Tom and I were just talking before the show. We're going to talk about the debate coming up on Thursday between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Both one a current president, one a former president. I really can't. I should have researched this, but I'm just thinking of the question now. I don't know the last time that happened when you had a former president debating.
I don't think it's ever happened.
I mean, Grover didn't Cleveland win
twice.
He won twice, separated by another president.
It was the 22nd and the 24th president, I think.
Yeah. So it's kind of a unique situation in that, there's always a lot of attention on debates. I don't know how many people's minds change during debates. A lot of times the conventional wisdom is people solidify the feelings they already have a lot of time. I don't know how many times people will change their mind. But this situation is unique. Again, both of these people have had the job. So although the debate is important, we have a record for both of these guys doing the job. So, it's just an interesting scenario. Plus just all the hype around it. I have a feeling this thing's going to be like, Super Bowl final episode of MASH level viewership throughout the world, just because it's just like blood sport at this point. But anyway, I just wanted to get through a couple facts, things that I found interesting. I didn't even know. Some I've heard a little bit here or there. So, here at the Friends of Zeus podcast, we are your source for 100% possibly correct information, and we want to keep that streak alive. So the debate coming up is Thursday, June 27th at 9 p.m. It's being broadcast on CNN. I don't think it's being broadcast on other channels, although they'll be doing a pregame and postgame, I'm sure. I think it's also
a YouTube video.
I think it's on C-SPAN as well.
Watch it on C-SPAN.
Yeah. It's being recorded in CNN's Atlanta studio, so it's going to be in a television studio, not at a school, not at a amphitheater or anything like that. There'll be no live audience. I don't know who is allowed in the room other than the candidates and the moderators, but there has to be some technical people there. I don't know if some
You don't think there's
family.
going to be an audience?
There is no audience. That's part of the
Wow.
rules.
Friends of Zeus podcast, no audience.
Yeah, just like they really modeled it after
Yeah,
our podcast,
copy.
really. You know, people that are kind of juiced up and you know, anyway. So no
At
audience.
least 50.
At least 50.
We interrupt each other. Yeah.
We interrupt each other all the time.
Except we don't mute each other. And apparently that is one of the rules.
And we're on C-SPAN as well. No, we're not. But, you know. Anyway, so no audience. It's going to be 90 minutes long. And there are 2 commercial breaks during the 90 minutes where they'll be taking breaks. And part of the rules say that during those 2 breaks, neither candidate is allowed to have any interaction with their staff or anyone else.
I like that.
There's 2 podiums on the stage. That's it. There's no sitting that's going to be allowed. The only things they can have with them are a pen, a pad of paper, and a bottle of water. That's it. They're not allowed to bring any pre-written notes. Not allowed to have any props or anything along those lines. Their mics will be muted. Hey, Desiree.
Hi.
Desiree!
Their mics will be muted at all times except for when it's their turn to speak. I wonder if the moderators' mics are open the whole time, because that's kind of what I'm worried about, is hearing from the moderators more than the candidates. In order to qualify for this debate, they have to have scored at least 15% approval in at least 4 national polls, and they need to be on the ballots in enough states to equal 270 electoral votes. So although RFK has reached that 15% mark in 3 national polls so far, he's only on the ballot in 6 states. So that doesn't equal 270. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but these are the reasons he's not
It's definitely wrong
in the debate. Well, I'm just saying I'm just going over the rules.
Yeah, I know.
And Cornel West and Jill Stein, who are 2 other candidates, they're not in this debate either. So it'll just be Trump and Biden.
Yeah, sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you think that they purposely looked at it and said, well, he's reached 15 3 times. So let's make the rule 4
Hey,
times.
Tom, can you check your mic, because you're coming in very quiet? Am I the only one?
No,
That's what I
sounds
said
fine.
earlier, but I didn't know if it.
Up his volume.
No, that's a good question, Tom. And I wondered that myself, but I think these rules were put out when they agreed to this. Actually, that was only 2 months ago that they even agreed to this. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if these rules, I know the other rules aren't typical, but I don't know if the qualification rules are fairly typical among these debates or not either. I'm not sure of that. So as far as the episode is concerned, there's 4 things I kind of wanted to get into. One is candidate Trump, candidate Biden, the Jake Tapper and Dana Bash, the moderators, just as one. They're the 3rd topic. And then the 4th would be the implications of RFK not being in this, to get to Zeus's point of how fair that is. Just because I think it deserves some discussion.
It absolutely deserves at least some recognition.
The one thing I was going to jump into, and then I'll open the floor. Like I said, I kind of want to stick with, talking about Trump, Biden, the moderators, and then the other candidates. We would say probably RFK Jr. And if you want to talk about other stuff, that's fine. If you go on too long, I will cut your mic. I do have editing power.
Especially if I disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I will. I do have final editing power on this. So, anyway, I was going to talk about the moderators real quick, and I found this. I couldn't find the video. If I can find it, I'll put it at the beginning of this episode or at the end. Someone put it together on X. It wasn't on YouTube. And it was basically just a few minutes of Jake Tapper and Dana Bash making comments about Trump and Republicans over the last like 8 years. And it was, I mean, I know that they're horrible, but it was just so horrible. I mean, and the idea that we're things are so bad that we're agreeing and Trump's agreeing to having these two be the moderators when there's nothing about them that's moderation related when it comes to Trump. So these are just
kind of stepped in it. He agreed in advance, like anytime, any place.
Right. No,
so he really couldn't complain about the rules at that point.
Right. And I'm not going to complain about the rule. I'm just saying.
I'm going to say that's to his credit. That shows some big cojones.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I appreciate it because it's sort of like, whatever, man. Let's do it.
I don't anticipate that he's gonna not come fucking full bore, ready to play. I think I think in the last 2 months he's probably just been preparing for an atrocious semblance of what a debate is. I think, oh God, I don't like the guy. I've said it 1,000 times, but
you do like Biden?
No, I'm not saying that.
Do you
what
like
I'm
Obama?
saying is, no, I like RFK. I think I've said that.
Okay.
But I think Trump's gonna come and he's gonna come packing. It's a shame that RFK is not going to be there because I think that he would definitely, mix it up a little bit, keep the other two on their toes, because the guy is definitely articulate. He's verbose. It's really a shame. What would have been a cool idea is if RFK decided to do like a simulcast where he answered the questions that they were answering.
It's a very Trumpian thing to do. That's what.
Yeah,
Trump
I think
did.
that would be
counter program.
For what it's worth, RFK is very Trumpian on the left. He's anti big business. There's a lot of things that can be said for him. Whether you like him or not, he's not the worst candidate to be in the independent category.
But there is a he's on the ballot in 6 states. So I'm just saying that's the math.
Yeah, but that's not because of him. That's not because of people that were supporting him. That's because of fucking bias.
I mean, where's his organization? Where's his team? Why are they not getting him on the ballot by now?
Why did the Democrat Party throw him overboard?
I think he was blocked at every fucking turn.
Remember, he started as a Democrat.
What you got to do is like collect signatures, right?
I believe, but the Democrat and Republican Party over our lifetimes have put so many bureaucratic hoops and obstacles in place for a third party to get on to the ballot. It's a nest. It's a nest.
It's a good idea
because it's not him, it's the system.
Because it's only on CNN, that would be a good opportunity. He could go to Fox or any other network and say, "Put me on during the same time."
Let him answer the same questions, and I think it'd be very interesting.
He could at least live stream himself doing it. He doesn't even need because there's no audience. They're already providing the moderators and the
steal the show. If he did that, he should seriously do that.
Maybe he will.
I think it would be a great thing.
So, I just wanted to go through these quick, just to give some context about how. Just what a shell game and what kabuki theater we have for media, where we're supposed to believe that these are like journalists and things are fair. And okay, so these are just some quotes from Tapper and Bash. These first ones are from Tapper, just over the last few years. When Biden won in 2020, he said, this is on air, quote, for Trump leaving office, he said, for tens of millions of our fellow Americans, their long national nightmare is over. He claimed Trump continues to lie to the American people about coronavirus testing. This was during the pandemic. He retweeted a post that called Trump 100% insane. He shamed Trump about being hospitalized during the coronavirus at Walter Reed when he got coronavirus. He described Trump's presidency as a disaster. He questioned the validity of the 2016. This Tapper questioned the validity of the 2016 election because of the Russian collusion angle. He suggested that Trump is trying to kill democracy. He ordered, during one of his shows, he ordered the control room not to cover Trump live. They were going to cut away because he didn't think it was right to put Trump on the air. And then another time refused to cover Trump live to his words being potentially dangerous, which I thought was interesting.
Why were they potentially dangerous?
I'm saying there's links to these I can post, but you can look at the context. He suggested that the first Trump presidency was leading the nation down the drain. He accused Trump of siding with Russia during the Russian collusion hoax. That's him. Dan Navash has accused Trump on multiple occasions of race baiting, called him a sexist, claims he makes anti-Semitic remarks. He said anything that he had to say about coronavirus was propaganda because he was contradicting the CDC. He accused Trump of being
may I ask?
Yeah.
Were his contradictions, did they align with what the facts are now?
I will look that up. I have the link, but I don't have it open.
Okay, so.
Accused Trump of being anti-science. She said it was unfortunate for America that the Supreme Court allowed Trump to be on the ballot in 2016 and in 2020. I'm sorry, that was in 2020. I'm sorry, now for 2024, that it was unfortunate. She also pushed the Russia collusion hoax numerous times. She described Trump as unpresidential. She accused Trump of outright lies. Says he uses racist language. And she said he should say he's sorry for his role in January 6th. So these are the moderators, right? So, I mean, I'm just like, anyone that's watching this, this is going, and I can't wait for the post show, because the way they're going to be couching things and the rhetoric coming from these two is going to be it's going to be astounding. I'm sure it's going to be like so loaded, but we'll see. Anyway, that's your two moderators. And again, Trump agreed to all of these because he said, hey, I'll debate you anytime, anywhere. These are rules that came back. All's fair. He said so. This is what it is. That's what it is. But I just wanted to give some context about the moderators.
Yeah. I mean, what I've seen in the debates last time around, usually the moderators, it's Biden's not going to interrupt Trump, but the moderators will interrupt him. That's what they typically do.
Correct.
They'll try to like fact check him like on the spot.
Right.
While he's talking, like before he gets to the end of his 30 seconds or whatever.
And not do it to Biden. I mean, again, we've seen this before. And again, the idea of really the mindset is Trump is going up against three people for all intents and purposes. But if again, I also want to talk about Trump, Biden, and we started talking about JFK, but just turning it over to you guys. What are you guys thinking? Are you guys going to watch it?
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to be working at the time, but I'm going to try and catch as much of it as I can. I may even go to YouTube and catch it later.
Yeah. It'll be
God damn, it feels so important. I really hate that I'm not going to be able to watch it because I'm working, but I work in mental health, so not that far of a stretch.
Not that far of a stretch.
My biggest thing, and I'm not going to try and harp on it, and I know that RFK is not a valid candidate for the presidency, but I find it offensive that he has been basically blocked out, and that there's a lot of supposition to that. I'm questioning how somebody that had a lot of steam at the beginning is just blocked out of certain enough states to be valid. and I really feel like how he talks, he's definitely a patriot. I don't know. Do you guys agree with that or no? From
I
what you've
mean,
seen,
I don't think he's an evil person. I disagree with him a lot politically, but to me, the takeaway,
is that he's not going to be allowed.
well, it's sort of like, well, how do you get more people to vote for you when the outlets, the town square, doesn't let you in? And in
Well,
today's day
he's
and
blocked
age,
there.
but I'm saying,
Biden, who has the control over the Secret Service, has blocked Secret Service protection
right.
for a person whose family has been notably assassinated over history, or I don't know. It just
His father was
bothers me.
assassinated by a Palestinian. A lot of people don't remember that. Sirhan.
I mean, to get away from that,
I'm
it
just,
just no. But I understand what you're saying. But just the point of the matter is that this guy, he's got enough steam that he should be allowed on the debate panel. He should be one of the people that is there to say, "What do it? You know what? Maybe he looks like an asshole. Fine, but I don't think
well,
he's going to look like an asshole.
again,
He's going to spin things one way or the other."
are you talking about RFK?
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, I think that if he was there and then he left, the votes would go right rather than left. Because he just that's the vibe I get off the guy.
Well, I think the telling thing with him not being in the debate is for people to realize that we have an election where the people that we're allowed to vote for are picked by these two parties and the media entertainment complex, right? So
Yeah.
it's not, and you can say, well, anyone can vote for him, but like I was saying, he's not being allowed to state his piece. Meanwhile, Biden and Trump have all this quote unquote free coverage from the press. And again, I don't remember reading about the media deciding who gets the debate in the Constitution. Like I didn't read. I missed that part in the Constitution. So I'm with you, Zeus. I mean, not so much for RFK
I know you're not
specifically.
for him, but you understand what I'm saying.
I'm saying not for him specifically necessarily, but for the idea. I do have trouble with who we're allowed to hear from, you know?
And I think that he would, at bare minimum, he might call them to arms. He might make them have to make some statements that they have to stick to because what he said was factual. You know, you follow what I'm saying? Like, he might mention a policy and how this could be different than both of theirs and how he could make it better. And I just, like I said, you said it best, and maybe it doesn't resonate with you as much as it does with me. I don't think that he was going to get president. I think at this point that would be foolish. But what I do think is that he would inspire some honesty, or in politics, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but he would inspire them to have to say some stuff that they would have to stick to. Does that make any sense? Or
it does, but I mean, more specifically, the lesson for this RFK story is he was a registered Democrat for his pretty much his entire life. He was trying to get the Democratic nomination. He was elbowed out, just like what Hillary did to Bernie back in
that's the worst
2016.
part about it.
So the Democrat Party basically, put a horse head in his bed and basically told him he wasn't going to be the nominee, even though their nominee is got to get juiced up just to, he's got to camp out in Camp David for a week before the debate just to be physically prepared for it. And, they had a candidate who I think would have been a very strong candidate for the Democrat Party, but he
Meaning
touched
RFK?
too many RFK, but he touched too many of the third rails and he doesn't go along with the Orwellian speak of the party, and
But
he
that's
does
kind of
have
what I like
questions about
about him.
right, but the party does not like that. The party
I
does
know,
not
but
like anyone that speaks out of line, much less their own candidate. But what I'm saying is this is not a failure of both sides and Republican. This goes right to the party, man. He was a candidate for the Democrat Party, and they sent him out into the desert.
and they
So
sent him
that's who
out
you
into
have
the
to thank.
desert with no protection for his life.
I'm just saying that's who everyone has to thank. And meanwhile, you get the privilege of being able to vote for Biden. I don't know. What do you think, Desiree and Tom? I mean, are you going to watch it, Desiree? Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Des, we can't hear you at all.
You're muted.
You're muted.
So funny. That's funny.
Sorry.
What'd you say, sweetheart?
I said, yeah.
Oh,
I
you
played
are
on
going to
it.
watch it. Yeah. You're not working that night?
Nope, I don't work.
It's it's weird because I mean, personally, I'm not watching it.
Oh, wait a second. Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do? I'm not watching it to see what they say. I'm more watching to see how they say it. I don't know. I know what they're going to say. I know what both of them are going to say, but it's sort of like just the drama of it, I guess. I don't know. The performance.
Yeah, it feels like we're preparing for a reality show. Like,
yes,
Pedro has AIDS. Will the one guy spit in his face? It's so contrived, and I feel like they're not going to talk about anything that we haven't been talking about for fucking months. Now, that being said, Trump has been buried in all this, the
lawfare.
Yeah, the lawfare. And again, I don't like the guy as a person, but honestly, at this point, we need such a severe shift to the right just to be center again that I don't know. I'm really like I said, I feel like we're going to be watching this passively and we should be watching it aggressively. I feel like this debate is going to be one of the biggest moments in our personal histories. Because goddamn, you got Trump, he's an asshole, sure. But you got Biden, and he is completely a fucking zombie. We can look at many videos of Biden just being a zombie, and that's what terrifies me, is that the left is willing to put out these videos and make him look like more than he is. And he is a frighteningly decrepit old man. You guys know about my situation at home where I'm helping this 93. I got this 93-year-old neighbor, right? And his cognitive stability is impaired. He's 93. Biden is 82. And this guy, I leave to basically manage himself, and I come and check on him every once in a while. He's 93. Biden is what, 82? I think.
I'm not sure.
I believe he's 82. It's just alarming how Biden, and you guys have all seen the video where he's standing there and everybody's dancing around him and he's like all stiff-armed, and I don't know, man. I deal with patients that are more actively bizarre, but I don't know what the drugs they have on him. I was telling Mike earlier, Des, you might be familiar with Namenda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like they probably got him on like Namenda, maybe some Adderall. I don't even know. I can't even think of a situation in my medical experience where a patient has acted like he did with a group of people active around him.
Who are you talking about?
There's this video of him where
Of who's him?
Biden,
Oh,
where he's just kind of standing there stiff-armed. Everybody's dancing around him. Everybody is very active around him. And
it's
he's
the
just
Juneteenth
kind of
video.
like, what's that?
It's the Juneteenth video.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I think it is. And it's very alarming. That's our president. Our president is not there. He's in a super energetic environment, and he is just standing there like a fucking action figure from, G.I. Joe or whatever. Like
It's
action
like,
arm.
do you guys remember Leonid Brezhnev, who was like the president, the supreme leader in the Soviet Union? I mean, he was I mean, he could barely walk. I mean, they literally just pushed this guy around, and he would be up there like at the parade. You could almost see the string on his arm.
Kind of the same thing with Pope
He
John
got
Paul
so
towards
old.
the end.
I'm just saying. Anyway, not the. What about you, Tom? What are your thoughts? Are you watching? Are you having a party?
Yeah, I'll watch it. And I think you guys are trying to say you're very excited about watching the debate and being ready for next week's episode where we come back and recap it, right?
Yeah.
Zeus and does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
You guys are
Is that what
like,
we're gonna do next week?
no,
Yeah,
we're
just
not even
super
going to watch
excited.
it. Don't even care, but don't even know why we're even talking about it.
No, I'm definitely
More
going to
or less.
watch it. And the following night is the season premiere for Ancient Aliens. So it's like a Thursday, Friday double
The
shot.
wild hair guy still on there?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. I'll check that out too. As long as it's not on CNN. Oh.
Yeah. I think it's on history.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. And again, I know what all their points are on all the issues pretty much. I'm watching it, like you said, Mike, just to see how they respond. And I think the last time around 2020, honestly, Biden won those. As much as I hate to say it, Biden did well. I think he won those debates, especially the one where Trump kept interrupting him. Trump looked horrible in that debate. I think he thought he could run circles around Biden just by like constantly jabbing at him, but that kind of backfired. And Biden, all he's got to do is just kind of not freeze up like we saw on Juneteenth, just kind of speak, even if he speaks slowly, but somewhat, competently, it'll come off well for him, and it'll kind of look like he's winning the debate. So that's all he's got to do. So I'm really going to be watching Biden closely. I mean, not for his answers. I think we know what those are, but to see how he answers. And I'm curious, you might remember like back in 2016, where they said that the questions were leaked to Hillary in that debate with Trump, that Donna Brazile had gotten the questions. They were leaked from the moderators, and
she admitted
gave them
it,
to
didn't
Hillary.
she? Didn't Donna Brazile
Did she admit to that?
I believe so.
Yeah, see, that's really underhanded. So the question is, is anybody leaking? Would you put it past, as you've described these two people, Tapper and Bash, who unabashedly hate Donald Trump, would they not leak the questions to Biden's team in advance? Because maybe they would.
Maybe they would. I mean, to me, the question I would like to see Biden answer that no one's going to ask him, or Trump may, is during that debate, Tom, and I agree with the way that one went when Trump was interrupting a lot. But during that debate, that was the famous time when Biden came out and was touting the 51 intelligence specialists that said that the laptop was Russian disinformation. And it was a main point in that debate. He was like hammering that home, and Trump was just like shaking his head. Another little factoid I found out is Dana Bash is, again, these people, the whole media and DC are so incestuous. Dana Bash's ex-husband is one of the 51 dudes that signed that letter.
Really?
Yeah, her ex-husband.
Oh, does
Jeremy
Trump know
Bash.
that? He should bring that up.
He should. He's Jeremy Bash, and he was a former CIA official, and he was one of the 51.
Wow.
That again, and that letter was solicited by Anthony Blinken, who is the
Or
Secretary of
the
State of the
administration.
Biden administration. So it's like it's Trump versus CNN, both moderators, and Biden. He's fighting the people in the booth, and he's fighting the people on the stage. And I mean, it's just bananas.
That's the part that actually makes me admire the guy, even though I don't like him. He is.
You don't have to say that every time you say.
Yeah, you say that every time you say. You always say that you don't like him.
I don't think he's an asshole. I don't know why you keep saying that. I actually like the guy.
Yeah, I've kind of come to like him.
I don't.
Anyone that can deal with what he's dealing with is a special person, man. I mean, he's a historical figure. Any way you slice it, much more consequential figure, in my opinion, than a lot of people.
Fair enough, and I'm not going to deny that I'm not liking him more, but it's more of a personality thing with him, for me at least. But that's my thing. I've often said before that if Trump is sitting in a bar and I could be a fly on the wall, I'd still just sit back in the bar. I don't want to sit up next to him and listen to the nonsense that he spews, but that's changing. I'm beginning to at least respect his intestinal fortitude to continue with this. I mean, he's got a lot going against him. He's got all these fucking legal things that he's going through, and he's still fucking moving forward. I mean, that you can't deny that he is fighting hard. My question is what he's fighting hard for. Is it for Trump to be the king of the world? I don't know.
No.
You know what else could come back? So the thing about the 51 CIA agents could come back to haunt Biden on Thursday, but also remember the thing where Biden said the reason he got into the 2020 race was the Charlottesville statements by Trump. And now
find people on both sides.
Yeah. Now even Snopes, who's far left, Snopes came out and said they finally debunked it, even though I don't know why it took them this long to get around to debunking it, but they admitted finally that was all just kind of a made up story. He didn't really say those things in the way that Biden portrayed himself.
There's all context.
Trump should also bring that up.
And not just Biden, and not
Everybody.
just the party, but the entire media. I mean, to the point where it wasn't, and if you go back and listen to how they would say things, it wasn't like, oh, we missed that part, we didn't hear it. So, oh, he did specifically call out Nazis and racists and said he wasn't talking about them. Oh, I missed that part. They weren't saying it. Right. They heard it, and they purposely didn't report that part.
4 years.
And they kept trying to twist it around to make it into something. They were
Snopes
had their story, and they were trying to pin it on him, and the truth be damned. And now that's why with Snopes, I mean, Snopes has been a joke forever. But after all this time for them to come out, and it's like, whatever, man. Like, I don't even, if you're looking at Snopes, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, it's a fucking train wreck. I don't know why anyone would get their information from
Snopes is like one of those restaurants where it says new manager on duty. So I don't know. I don't know why they came out with this all of a sudden. Right? Maybe there's somebody new in charge.
Could be. I don't know.
Like, forget about the mice that were here last week. There's a new manager now.
There's a new manager. We've taken care of the alligator in the toilet. I don't know. I mean, with Biden, again, he's camping out at Camp David for a week. Again, where where are the journalists, the young whippersnappers, the cub reporters?
They don't exist.
Who are going out, right? That's the sad part. Who are going out and saying, why does the president of the United States have to go to Camp David for 7 days to prepare for a debate? He's a politician. He's been a politician for 50 years. He's been in a million debates in his life. What is going on here? Meanwhile, the other candidate is barnstorming around the country in a lot of blue areas, a lot of Democrat areas. And, he's going about his daily routine. Thursday's just going to be another day this week. I'm sure he's doing some strategic preparing, but, he's not, he's putting about, Trump is going to put about as much preparation into this debate as we put into our episodes every week. And he's probably going to, that much. Yeah. I mean, quite a bit. But anyway, I just don't know where all the media is. Like, why is this hard to find these questions? And the answer, like, Zeus was talking about the possible drugs he would be on or medications. Where's that speculation? The media has no problem speculating when it doesn't have to do with the party. But when it has to do with the party, like, there's no speculate. No one's talking about it.
And let's be honest. I'm sure Trump is on a litany of medications that keep him.
I don't think so.
Why do you say that?
Why would you say that?
I just feel like both of them are geriatric fucking guys.
But Trump is a young 78 man. I mean, the guy's a teetotaler. Yeah. He hasn't had a drink since his, teen years?
I saw there was a concert. The Rolling Stones did a concert recently. It was on TV. Mick Jagger's 80 years old, dancing, singing. Not like Joe Biden at the Juneteenth. He was actually dancing on the stage,
rhythm. Yeah.
Moving around, with rhythm, looking like a 50-year, looking like us, but at the age of 80, like basically Joe Biden's age. And you contrast those two people. I mean, that's...
And Trump is already on record saying he'll take a drug test.
But guys, let's be realistic. If any of us were to take on the immense amount of work that they have set aside of them, I'm not beating Trump up for having maybe the same drugs. I think that they probably are more effective with him.
I just don't see the evidence of it.
Yeah. I haven't seen the deterioration in Trump.
I haven't seen the deterioration.
Cause him to have to take anything.
I mean, it's this whole thing with the media. They're like, Biden is, to anyone with eyeballs, a fucking walking disaster zone. And say what you want about Trump, the guy seems pretty healthy. But the media has to say, is there a problem with old people running for president? It's like, no, there's a problem with Joe Biden. There's not a problem with Trump. But they can't just come out against Biden without giving this mealy mouth treatment to Trump too. They just can't do it. They can't do it.
With the whole document gate situation, didn't they, some, I'm sure, attorney, or maybe not attorney, but the person that has the power to deem people incompetent for trial,
Robert Hur,
deemed him incompetent for trial.
Yeah, basically a legal imbecile.
If you are incompetent to stand for trial,
thank you.
Why the fuck are you president? How is that cool?
Yeah.
And why is nobody else like, sounds a little weird?
Yeah. I mean, I think the people are saying that. I mean, us here, other people around the water cooler, people who, are like, something doesn't smell right.
Remember all the threats to remove Trump from office because of his mental... The
25th Amendment, and now it's like, 25th Amendment? What are you, crazy?
It only goes up to 24 now.
The thing is, I gave up a long time ago wanting the media to come around and finally be like, oh, now they're never, ever going to do that. They have to be defeated and replaced if we're ever going to get our country back. We need journalism to come back. These people are never going to see the light. Because they're not acting in good faith. They are purposely propagandizing everyone. They are professional liars. That is what they are doing. Lies by omission, which is the most common. But that's what they're doing. They're never going to be fair. It's just never. So it's frustrating for everyone else, like normal people, because they're like, like Zeus will say, like, well, da da da. won't they just? They're never going to do that. They're never going to, and that's the part that's frustrating to me, at least. But anyway, so we don't have to do the whole episode on this. I know Tom was talking about Julian Assange. We could do some Am I the Asshole? I don't know if Desiree has any
Hold on, I got a
stuff she
question.
wants to bring up.
Did y'all probably not, but did you guys see the interview that Dr. Phil did like 2 weeks ago, Trump?
No, I heard something about it, but I didn't see it. Is it cool?
It was actually pretty good. I mean, there was no weird shit that went down. I mean, Dr. Phil, you can say what you want about him but I mean, he's been a guy that's been around for a long time. And he's not really involved in any scandal. He's not really involved with any mind-blowing things. I mean, he asks questions. He don't sell anyone out. I mean, so I would kind of say he might be a trusted media figure.
Okay.
But anyway,
yeah.
He did do an
To a
interview.
degree.
To a degree. I mean, like, I don't whether he's a doctor or not, jury's still out. But you have to be a doctor to ask good questions. Anyway, and not ask accusatory questions. That might be better. Anyway, during that interview, Dr. Phil had said, basically, does it seem weird to you that China is purchasing a bunch of like farmland in the US that's like just basically around big military bases? You guys know anything about this?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but.
And then he like showed a map up on the screen and it was like all the big military bases and like in these circles of farmland that is purchased by China.
Yeah.
Is that weird? That seems kind of weird.
It does seem kind of weird.
What are they growing? Rice don't grow here.
No, there's been a lot
that's
of...
a question.
Well, it takes a lot of land to grow the General Chow's chickens that they need for the...
You guys.
I don't know.
Oh my God. I might have to cut both of those comments out.
No, it's a legit question.
Yes.
I mean, that's the crop that comes out of China, rice.
But then didn't the government come back? I think Biden's administration came back because I didn't know that it was brought up there on Dr. Phil, but the administration said that they had no issue with China buying the farmland. That just came out a day or two ago.
Wow.
Well, maybe.
Well, maybe they don't.
They could buy some in like Western Kansas or like North Dakota
I've got a problem
or
with that.
something.
But why are they
Why you got to buy it around the military bases?
And
That's
why are we
fucking
allowing?
Yeah,
suspect.
that's you just mentioned it, that they're all around these military bases, which is very alarming.
Why are we allowing adversarial foreign power to purchase real estate in our country? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah.
I mean, since when did?
Well, I mean,
is
you
that
want people
allowed?
to invest in the country, but I don't know if you'd want China to.
Not adversaries. I mean,
That's a good
allies. I don't
question
have a
too.
problem.
I don't know if that'll be a question in the debate.
And what are the requirements? I mean, can they just use our land to make food and send it back to China? And
I guess.
Or are they making fit? Like I said, rice don't grow here.
Or are they just doing
other
it so it
stuff
can't be
does.
used?
Like what?
They eat everything.
No, they eat rice and bok choy.
It's not.
And
Bok
General
choy
Chow's
grow-
chicken. That's what they.
Yeah,
that's what I
we
always
could-
see.
we
at
could
Sure,
do
they eat
chicken.
vegetables. You can't make like
Snap
chicken
peas
fried
don't
rice
grow
without
here.
some peas.
Peas might. That's American. They don't put
That's
peas in
American
that shit.
chicken fried rice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anyway, I just don't know if that's going to be a question.
I've
It's
actually
interesting.
heard what
that is interesting.
Desiree is talking about, and yeah, it's very alarming. Is that there's all these lands that are being bought up around military bases by the Chinese, and who knows where you even go with that.
And so
well, I'm
this
sure
is,
they
I
mean
mean,
no harm.
I'm not saying that I'm totally out of the loop with stuff that was happening, but I learned quite a few things in this interview that I'm like, huh. And do you know they renamed Fort Bragg
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and spent millions of dollars doing so?
Yeah,
Like, why?
I don't know.
Fort Liberty?
It's.
I think Bragg. What was Bragg? Was he associated with the Confederacy or something?
Yes.
I don't know, but who even knew that?
But the thing is, these are military bases where we train people to kill people and break things. in the best, most efficient way possible. And for people who look into history, like Civil War history, a lot of these guys were friends. I'm talking about like the Lees, the Stonewall Jacksons, the Grants, both on the Union and the Confederate side. A lot of them knew each other, ran in the same circles. They felt an allegiance to their state more than the country. And that's why they fought, but it doesn't discount their prowess militarily, which is why to this day a lot of their tactics and things are still studied all over the world by different militaries, as far as like, granted more introductory related things, but there were guys after the Civil War that became friends. The one guy who I like reading up on, John Singleton Mosby, who was basically the guy that started like didn't start it, but guerrilla special forces warfare during the Civil War. Very active in Virginia.
Louisiana Tigers, right?
No, the Mosby's Rangers.
Okay, same one.
But he a lot of his tactics, he's pretty much credited for being the guy that came up with the entire concept of like special forces. He would have like 30 dudes, and they would go and like disrupt the supply lines and all that, and like take thousands of troops off the battlefield on the Union side, or delay them, or mess with them, psyops, all this sort of stuff. It was unprecedented. So you can't just take someone like that and be like, they were a Confederate. So we're never going to talk about them. They're not going to be part of our history. We're not going to. I mean, it's moronic.
And if you were, you would do it on the left.
I'm just saying you don't have to agree with the cause, right? But the guy was a genius tactician militarily, and to say like, well, we don't want to celebrate anyway. Whatever. I'm going off topic here, but I don't understand this. It's like the left, the party in our country is like they're like the Taliban now, right? They're like remember back when they were like, no, listen. Remember back when they were like blowing, or ISIS, I mean, when they were like blowing up like Buddhist statues and temples and all through like Persia and stuff like that, and like destroying things that were like thousands of years old because it was, that's sort of kind of what the party does when they start tearing down statues or putting like Palestinian flags on top of George Washington's head at GW downtown, stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Like I keep saying, Mike, we got to get a camera. We got to get out there and see some of this stuff.
Well, do you guys want to keep going on the debate, or do you think we kind of touched?
I think we covered it.
Yeah, I was going to guess some more questions.
Yes,
maybe.
Yes.
Okay, so like maybe where's these 80,000 missing children from the border?
Yeah, good point.
What else? That was maybe I mean, do you think that Biden is going to keep it clean, or do you think he's just going to tout off on all the legal trouble?
He's going to be a terrible jerk.
Avoid things as much as he possibly can.
What's the over under for how many times we'll hear convicted felon?
Yeah. No, what is the over under?
You can make a drinking game out of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's going to say it as many times as humanly possible. For sure.
Yeah, and I think the moderators will say it a few times as well.
Yeah.
Do you think do you really think they're going to stick to the shut the mics off? Because what if, not all the time was it some bullshit after the 2 minutes? Like sometimes it was just a good point.
Yeah, and are they giving them more than 2 minutes at a time? I would love to know. I mean, 90 minutes.
No,
that's
it said
long
2
debate.
minutes.
It said 2 minutes per time?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then a minute for rebuttal.
I mean, here's the thing. The fact that there's no notes that they can take with them if they stick to that. The fact that it's 90 minutes and that they're not able to converse with their staff during the breaks, I got to give the benefit to Trump on that, because the guy is one of the most skilled extemporaneous speakers I've ever seen. Not saying that he's making brilliant points and all that, but the guy can get up and talk for like 2 hours straight to a crowd without notes.
I mean, Biden,
That's his environment.
He'll
That's
start
his,
stuttering up there, talking about who fucking knows what.
yeah. Yeah, as I'm saying, I think the first 10 minutes, it's like a boxing match when people come out or a football game and they're like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." But I think as it wears on, like after the first 20 minutes, I gotta give advantage Trump. I just don't see how Biden beats him after the 20-minute point. That's why I want to watch it. I'm fascinated by it. I don't know. I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's a good question though, Des.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, where are all those kids?
Yeah, where are they? Because they're not locked up in the camps or whatever. They're just missing. Coyotes got them, I guess.
It's ridiculous. Well, not like four-legged
Where did all the
coyotes.
children go?
Yeah.
No, maybe four-legged coyotes got
Maybe
them.
four-legged ones. Yeah.
Who knows? I
I
mean,
mean,
the desert. Maybe the vultures.
I would like some questions to Biden about the laptop, which we now know is real. I mean, everyone admits that now. And what about all this money that his family, like, what's his family business? They always talk about his family, but what do they do? What do they make? Where's the factory?
launder
Who's
money.
the secretary? I know, but I'm saying no one asks him that question. Like, what is the business?
I think that is going to be a big point in the debates. I don't think that Trump is going to like fucking back down and not attack those situations. I just don't know how well it works for him when he does.
Well, here's one thing I hope that they do allow is and I don't know that they will, but I would love to have these guys ask each other questions. Wouldn't that be fascinating?
It's never going to happen.
I don't know if they're going to let them do that. And then the thing I hope they don't do is that cheesy thing that they did in 2016 with Trump and Hillary, where they're like, first thing, we'd like you to each say something nice about the other one.
I like that.
I didn't
like that.
I didn't. I really did. I mean, it was okay, but I'm just sort of like,
that's what you do.
That's a
kids.
tough one because I thought about what would you say about Biden if you needed to say one positive thing about Biden?
Oh, he certainly stands around like a fucking statue.
He does a real great statue impression.
He's in good shape. He's a nice good shape. He wears a suit nicely.
Cleans up nice.
He's well dressed.
He's well dressed.
What did Trump say about Hillary?
He said that she was a good mom.
Is that what it was?
What did he say about her? Because that's a good compliment.
She said that he had great children, which I thought was very diplomatic. Hillary complimented his children.
And he complimented her.
I think, I don't remember that time. He complimented her. I can't remember what he said.
Yeah, he said she was a good mom.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I agree with that, but maybe, I guess.
Well, I mean, Chelsea, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying she's not a good mom. I don't know. I guess she is. I mean, I guess most people are, unless you have reason not to believe it.
I like that question, though. I wouldn't mind if they brought that back.
It makes me cringe. That's all, because they're so like, and then to be like, come on, let's say something nice. I'm like, no, man, let's rip out each other's vertebrae. It's like, it's just.
You got good vertebrae to rip out.
I mean, if they do it, that's fine. I'll just say, it's a personal preference.
Bet you got a tasty backstrap.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, what we're going to talk about next?
Let's do some Am I the Asshole?
No, what did Tom want to talk about?
Assange getting out. Julian Assange.
Julian Assange.
Yeah.
Apparently he's out of jail.
Yeah.
He was in jail in Great Britain, right?
He was
5 years.
At least, yeah.
And he was fighting extradition back to the U.S. And I'm not really clear. What did he do wrong exactly?
He's the WikiLeaks guy. He leaked classified information, apparently.
Right. He was a journalist, and they didn't like what he did. I mean, that's the thing, and none of the journalists.
What's the difference between that and a whistleblower? And what did he leak exactly?
It was the Manning. What's that guy's name that became Chelsea? The guy that became a girl, the army guy. who ended up going to jail, and Obama pardoned him. But he released a bunch of, I'm trying to remember what the information even was. I think it had to do with the war net in Afghanistan and Iraq, like some embarrassing things. I may not be remembering it, but I think it was what Bradley Manning, and they became Chelsea Manning, what he released.
Okay.
But basically, from a law standpoint, I mean, Assange published material that was given to him. That's not illegal. If you steal it, it's illegal. That's why Manning, went to jail, went to the brig or whatever.
But if it's classified information,
if you're a reporter and
did he
someone
know
hands
that
you something, and you publish it, I mean, the New York Times and Washington Post do it all the time. Pentagon Papers, all the stuff with Nixon, the Steele dossier, whatever, I mean, no one went to jail for that, even though that was
They really
fake.
hate this guy.
They do. The U.S. government. I mean, I heard people saying he should be killed, and that he's it was such a horrible thing, and I don't know. It's the same thing with like Snowden. I mean, he opened up a lot of people's eyes to some things that were going on. He's living in exile in Russia. I found it interesting that Assange did not. He had to come to a U.S. He had to come to the U.S. to sign the paperwork and do all the legal stuff,
Right.
to make the deal. And he ended up going to Saipan, which is
Right.
He wanted to go to the furthest place from mainland United States as humanly possible.
I think he didn't trust being on the mainland
of
US,
United
too
States.
close to everybody here.
Yeah.
He picked the most remote post he could think of. I think he's going to go back to Australia anyway,
he's going back to Australia
in that vicinity.
But wasn't he? And the thing is, I was like, man, wasn't he in jail a long time? But before he was in jail in Britain, wasn't he in the Ecuadorian embassy? Didn't they give him?
Was he?
He was holed up in the Ecuadorian
seeking
embassy
asylum
in London, because if he stepped outside, he would have been arrested, and Ecuador let him stay in their thing. And he didn't leave there for years. I don't know how long, but it was before the prison sentence. I think he was in there for 3 or 4 years before he even went to jail.
And he only broke U.S. law. So if
I'm not sure,
somebody pardons him, he's
guys. I have to bail.
I believe so. What happened? That's weird.
Maybe he's got diarrhea again.
Oh man. Okay. Well, this is going out live.
Do you want to do some Am I the asshole?
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's find some good ones. I always try to do the short ones, but
I don't think I've been a part of one of these.
okay,
yet.
well they're fun.
They're cool. They're fun.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no to everything though.
Am I the asshole for recording a video of my wife while she was being stung by bees?
Wait, say that again?
Am I the asshole for recording a video of my wife while she was being stung by bees?
Oh, wow.
What can you do though? Is there any way you could help her?
I mean, let's see. My wife and I were enjoying some beautiful spring weather today on our back deck. I was sitting in the sun reading a novel while my wife was tending to her flower garden. We were having a great time, but suddenly my wife started yelling out of pain. I looked up and I saw her running across our lawn and swatting. It was clear that she was being stung by bees. I wasn't going to go over there, since I also didn't want to be stung by bees. So I sat at a safe distance on the deck. After a few seconds of watching this, though, it became sort of humorous to me. My wife was running in circles and looked ridiculous, so I grabbed my smartphone and started to record her. She finally ran to the gate, removed her clothing in the garage, and went straight to the shower. I went to the bathroom and asked her how many times she'd be stung. She said, I think 10, and I know she's not allergic, so there would be no point in offering her any Benadryl. After showering, my wife took a nap, and she slept. As she slept, my 15-year-old son got home from a friend's house. I showed him the video I had taken because I thought he would find it entertaining. But he wasn't laughing and instead seemed concerned and angry at me. I assured him that I made sure she was okay, but he called me a jackass and said that he was going to tell my wife when she woke up. Well, he told her, and now neither one of them will hang out with me. I've tried to joke about the experience by making buzzing noises near my wife, but she just sighs and goes into another room.
Bad idea.
It's important to be able to laugh at yourself, but she's taking things so seriously. I just want them to stop being so dramatic and judgmental of me. This treatment sucks. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
I think about this a lot I see a lot of videos like where people are fighting and somebody else is just recording it. Why don't you like get in there and break it up? I mean, why are you just sitting there recording a fight? So, but in this case, I don't know what he could have did.
I mean, honestly, because you're going to get yourself hit.
Well, but you can
dog fight, people fight, cat fight.
But in this case, I don't know what he could have done. She just needed to run, which she was doing, and she got inside. What could he do?
The detail that I was waiting to hear from the original premise to the story was he already filming? Like he was like, oh, what a nice day. And then she ran by because then he wouldn't be.
He said after a few seconds, he thought it was humorous.
But he knew what was going on. And then, yes, I mean, that's his wife, man. I don't care what it is. Bees, any kind of danger. I mean, I don't know what you could do, but you're not helping by filming it. I mean, to me, that seems pretty dick move there. But that's just me. I think he is the asshole.
I mean, maybe they could make $1 million if it goes viral, and that would help.
I mean, maybe if you put it on America's Funniest Home Videos or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I'd be. I don't know. I think that maybe I'd be a little bit more upset if he like posted it somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, look at my wife getting stung by bees, and then I'd be like, okay, that's kind of a dick move.
Yeah. Rude. I'd say okay. At the end of the day, I'm gonna say it was not right.
It's certainly not very chivalrous. I'll definitely say that.
Maybe take your T-shirt off and just like try to swat him away.
Something, man. Something.
Yeah.
Make it look good at least. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of. I'm like, I don't know if you're the asshole per se, but like, it's definitely rude. Rude.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
A mini asshole.
Yeah, just a temporary asshole. Okay.
Are there degrees of asshole?
Well, not for this, but
we should come up with like a Friends of Zeus asshole ranking system.
Oh yeah, to try to break it down a little.
I don't think anybody's ever.
They have I don't know, they have like asshole, not the asshole, and then they have like no assholes here and everyone sucks.
No, okay. So they do have a little bit of a scale.
Kind of. But you can't say like, mini asshole.
Yeah, the thing is I like it being one or the other, because then you really have to got to make a decision. If you give too many options, it's too many options.
Yeah, I'm trying to find not a very long one.
That's like the whole thing. If you ask people to pick, rate something between 1 and 10, statistically, almost everyone says 7.
Yeah, that is true.
Like it's all everyone says.
Let's say thumbs in the middle. I mean, just either should I watch the movie or not? Don't
not applicable.
Thumbs in the middle.
Yeah, thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't mean to jump, but I do got to start wrapping it up.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
I mean, were you in the middle of saying more about that?
Is Mike the asshole for trying to wrap this up before you're finished, Desiree?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, just kidding. Sorry, we're good. I don't want to do more.
Plus, I need to go check on Zeus, man. I don't what's going on with Zeus.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was kind of abrupt, man. Like, was there like gunfire in the bar or something? I don't know. Was he at the bar?
No, I think he was at home because he had the Fosters.
Yeah.
Do they not have Fosters at the bar?
I think they do.
Not in cans. He drinks those at home.
Wow. I wonder what's going on. Anyway.
Well, I don't know because his wife and kids ain't home.
No. I may have. Okay. Well, listen, I think it's about that time on Friends of Zeus podcast that we wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Good night, everybody.
It's good life advice.
Yeah.